Welcome to the Steam Release Podcast. I am your host, Dewey Bear, and join me today, as always, we're back, Roadypie.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate the sort of back from the dead aesthetic sort of thing that's going on. The queen of the zombies.
I was inspired by
sneak into the future.
Yeah.
So we've been gone for a bit. It's been a while. But yeah, there was a lot of things. Move, change of location, time getting my internet and everything unpacked, and getting some new gear. So, and of course, the thing that's happening that's making the whole world crazy. But we're gonna be a sort of sanctuary where it's, life is normal again. Life will be normal again. For the next hour and a half or so, life will be normal again. So I look forward to presenting y'all with some great games. but before we have that, it's been 2 months, and I'm sure that you've done a lot.
Not as much as I would have liked, which is always the case. But, I am chipping away at my list of my backlog of indie games and various other quirkies. So yes, I shall present games that I have played in the last few months. Although it's a short list. It's not too long. It's not too long. So I don't know if we talked about that. I finished A Short Hike. I got that finished.
Oh, I need to play that game.
It's so good. It is just so good. And I really like the way it ended. I really like the way that you have interactions with the NPCs, and you sort of like level up your climbing and your flying, and there's all these little secrets that you can find, but also it still keeps you on track for the hike as well, by pathing with little coins or something, so you know where you need to go and anything like that. So but you do get a map.
And for humble subscribers, you can get this game DRM free as just a DRM free download. You can play this game as well. So I always think that's cool when a dev does that.
Yeah. It's really great though. It's if you're into sort of like exploratory kind of games, this will be right up your street, definitely. And it's The Short Hike. It's a fairly short game as well. There are a lot of I think it's as long as you want to make it kind of game. If you just want to get straight to the top of the hill, then you can do that. If you want to play all the little mini games, or if you want to get all the achievements, or if you want to help everybody out, the game will last a lot longer. And then I played and finished Pilgrims. This is another short game. So yeah, it's really entertaining. You start off, you have these cards. You have the card that the person that you're actually playing as, and anything you pick up is, instead of going as inventory space, it is a card which you can put into play. And you pick up more character cards as you go along, and you can always also lose them because they say, oh yeah, kind of we're done here, or something like that. So they're finished their part of the story, sort of thing. So, but there are different combinations that you can use, and just one playthrough isn't enough. You have to have like several playthroughs, sort of, to see how you can put each character into play into different scenes. It's really interesting. There's these little problems that you have to try and figure out. Like this old lady, she got kicked out of her home by a witch, and you have to try and figure out how to get rid of the witch. There's a dragon that's threatening the kingdom. You have to figure out how to appease the dragon because he's going to steal the princess away. So things like that, and you use always like interesting and funny combinations to solve these problems or puzzles. I'm still playing Nobodies. There are a couple of annoying puzzles in that, but I was still thoroughly enjoying it. Thoroughly enjoying hiding the bodies. Taxiderming some of them and putting them on display in a museum.
Oh my word!
It's pretty amazing, and there are some interesting puzzles and mini games in it, but they all kind of make sense on why you're doing them. It's not just like you've been thrown into like a mini game like in some hidden object games, for example. So yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Is there any pixel hunting in this one?
There is a bit. There is a bit, because you have to sort of find out where your like tools, is it like inventory things? So it's like maybe you're looking for tools, or maybe you're looking for somewhere to you've got to turn the power off or something, and you're kind of like looking at where have they put the power supplies and things like that. So stuff like that. Or I think there was one where I was looking for the cocaine. So looking for cocaine, looking for a map, looking for a tarp, looking for a shovel. So you know how this was going to end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that. It's really good. The stories is great because you are like an agent going after ex-agents. There was one puzzle, or one mission I had to like get the body out of the cell, the prison cell, and I had to get the toilet out, push the body down the tube of the toilet, and then I'm trying to figure out where it's gone. It's amazing. It is amazing.
It is cool that it's telling the story through the gameplay, though. That is nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's and then after each mission, you sort of like get a debriefing that it has voice acting in it, and so that's pretty good. Now the next three I'm going to say are all hidden object games that I played, and a couple of them I think all of them I might have play tested actually. So Queen's Quest 4. Which it was just bad. It was just really bad.
Oh no.
There was like sound effects were missing. There was a lot of underused mechanics. Story was kind of meh, and it has a pretty bad bonus chapter as well.
That's always the worst kind of bad, when it seems to be a lack of effort.
Yeah. I think there was like, I put missing sound effect. I think the music was missing in these parts as well. So it would be like you were breaking out of somewhere, or there was a bit of action happening, and it was just complete silence. And it's just like, wow, you just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, and that's so disappointing.
It's so weird. You were supposed to like it is kind of an interesting premise. It's just the way it was done. It didn't make it very interesting. So there is a peace, and your peacekeeper has been tasked to prove who it is, and make sure no one. It's just basically you're supposed to stop the war. So yeah, that sounds
extinguish the tensions. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds pretty pretty interesting premise. It was just done so badly, really badly. And the next one I played was Dreamwalker, and I finished this as well. The story was really interesting. I did wait, no, sorry. Did I write down the? I think it's a different one. I don't think it's a different
one. Let me see.
Sorry, it's all one word. It's all one word.
One word. Oh, there we go. So Dreamwalker, never fall asleep. Aha.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, bingo.
So yeah, you're kind of like a psychologist with like special powers. You can actually go into people's heads, and there's been like a mayor's daughter or something is in a coma, and weird things are happening, and you're kind of trying to figure out like why the town's like this, and why the mayor is pushing you out, even though you're trying to save her daughter and everything like that. So yeah, it's really interesting, although the voice acting is really bad.
So distractingly bad.
Yeah, like it was just like really wooden, and I was just like, oh no.
It's almost one of those cases where you kind of wish I wish I could get a localization that was in a different language, so you could just not know that the acting was bad.
I don't think there was like a bonus chapter in this though, but it's still like 3 hours long, so which is like they're usually like 3 to 4 hours, so that's my only like caveat with that one. But yeah, otherwise it's fairly interesting. And then the last one I played was Portal of Evil, Stolen Rooms, and that's the one I'm like currently playing. I've nearly finished all my hidden object games now. I think I've only got like on my list. I think I've only got like 3 or 4 left on my list to actually play through. Yeah. It's you basically your grandfather has sent you a letter, and you're going to this like religious institute sort of thing. It's like a cathedral or something, and people all live around there. But it's just like really weird things that they've actually set up. Like the guard is standing there at his post, and there's a barrier there, and the barrier is broken, and he says, he says, "Oh, sorry, I can't let you in because the barrier's broken." And it's like, "Oh, well, can you not fix it?" And it says, "Oh no, well, no, I can't leave my post." It's like it's right there. It's like you can't. It's like fair enough, you can't leave your post, but I'm sure when they said that, they meant you can't go and grab a coffee at the other building or something like that, not just walk about 2 meters. So yeah, it was dumb. There's some things that are really dumb, and it's bad voice acting. Some of the puzzle actions make no sense. Like, it's just like, oh, you have to go and do this, and you have to go and do that, and it's like, well, why? Why do I have to go and do that? It's, and also, I don't think it's been translated very well or something, because the guy says, oh yeah, sorry. The actions. The guy says, "Feel free to have a look around," but the front door is closed. So it's like, okay, so I'll just stand around outside then, and you have to go and find the key. So that made no sense to me. And so with the language, it says, "With all due respect," it's like, "I can't show you around because I'm busy." And it's like, well, that's not when you use "for all due respect." So, with all due respect. So yeah, it's just a lot of little things that make no sense, that make it like seem like it's low effort on their part. So, but that's all my games. That's all my round. I suppose if I was to recommend a hidden object game, it would be Dreamwalker, and the others definitely play Pilgrims, definitely play Nobodies, and definitely give A Short Hike a go. That's got to be my top one for sure.
Okay.
So, Dewey, what have you been playing? I hope.
Number one that I have to bring up is Temtem. My word, this game is so good. That said, I haven't gotten very far in it. I've only gotten to the second island. But it's just so polished. It's nice. It's in early access right now, so it doesn't have all the content. But it feels very complete. So I'm really happy, and also like knowing that, oh hey, there's 3 islands now. There's gonna be more. There's gonna be 6 in the future, so they're adding more content, and it's great. I quite like it a lot. So let's show some gameplay. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I was really wondering about this because like, what would you say the main differences are between Temtem and Pokemon?
All right, so mechanically, there is no RNG in this game. As far as like when you're in combat, there's RNG as far as like what the stats are of the Temtem you catch, but when you're in battle, there is no RNG. So it's all about knowing what is weak to what is strong to what, that whole like rock, paper, scissors game, but also understanding what you can do to mitigate that. So yeah, there's not critical hits, there's not weak hits, etc. There's not misses. So it's all about you know, raw crunching the numbers. So it makes the combat a bit more engaging. All battles are 2v2. And it just has this very neat, more, I don't know, fresh aesthetic. It's a fresh take. So it's not too. That said, I would say there's more Simsy Blanket. It is multiplayer. It's online all the time. That said, they haven't implemented a lot of the MMO features yet. The main thing that's there is that you can party up with one other person. They have up to 2-person parties. And you can experience the whole story and stuff, either going through their story together or your story together. And if you both are at the same space, I'm pretty sure you progress at the same time. But, you know, you can just kind of buddy up with someone and just go through the whole...
It is on my wish list. It is on my wish list. And I think I will wait until, you know, it comes out of early access, though.
Yeah. And there were a lot of server issues, and right now I can still think of 1 or 2 bugs that are still there. But they have fixed almost all of them. There's just a handful of remaining ones that they're aware of. And it keeps getting better, and so yeah, it's definitely going to be the full, complete experience at a later date. But right now it's still a very functional and really fun game. I quite like it. So,
Nice.
Temtem. So Heroes of Hammerwatch I've talked about a lot in the past. They had a new DLC, the Moon Temple.
Ooh.
I did not regret this purchase. However, I don't think it is as good as their previous DLCs.
Right.
It's just not... It's not quite as good, which it's a bummer to say that. Not quite as good. But the it is still like they took a different aesthetic. It's very neat. They have a new like permadeath feature where you create a mercenary and there's this permadeath mechanic, and that's how you get the legacy progression, which unfortunately for some of my friends, the whole like permadeath process isn't what they're really into. I'm into that. But I think a lot of players who like the old formula, like, oh, this formula is just so entirely different. It's not particularly difficult. I was able to beat it first time with a party of friends. So there is progression, but with your regular character that you've grown attached to, there's not a lot of progression for that regular character.
Yeah.
Although I will have to try the NG +1 and +2 on the Moon Temple, and maybe that'll make it a bit more interesting. But, yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm not someone that likes permadeath kind of thing. So yeah, I think I have a couple of games that, or games that I kickstarted and then said they were going to put permadeath in there, and it was just like as a main game, not as an option.
Oh yeah, as a main mechanic.
Yeah, so it was just like, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it's really great for a lot of games. If they're going to have permadeath, that needs to be like out there at the front. Because it is a very specific mechanic, and there's going to be a lot of players that are just like, no, I'll pass. Whereas if you have a permadeath mode, that's really cool for a lot of people,
yeah.
So, but it needs it most of the time. It's mostly suitable as an option.
Yeah, as a separate mode, gameplay mode, fantastic. You know, I encourage that definitely, but as a main and only option, absolutely not.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a bummer. Although one perk, the artwork is fantastic. They've sort of evolved their art style because this studio is working on making a fully fledged RPG, whereas these have been roguelikes. They're working on a fully fledged RPG that uses this makes it a bit more subdued. There's more like shading, etc., done with the pixels. So
very nice.
It's very nice. It can look a little muddy sometimes when you're surrounded by monsters, but it is a very nice new aesthetic they're doing. So yeah, that's Moon Temple. Let me see, anything else new? I've still been playing some older games. Oh yes, I almost forgot. I've been playing Dirt Rally. It is surprisingly good. But so people call it the Dark Souls of racing games. I don't play it for that. I play it to drive a car down a muddy road as fast as I can in beautiful environments. And so it's like a cool down type game that I do before I go to sleep. So I'm not really playing this game to win it.
Yeah.
But
that sounds good.
Nice. The outdoor environments are just beautiful, which I never expected to see such gorgeous outdoor work about it. Although did just get Fell Seal. I'm excited about that, sorry.
But that's a good like mix of games that you've been playing. That's good.
Yep, and of course getting back into Final Fantasy 14 and Guild Wars 2 announced Cantha, which is just a whole nother thing, and this is not the podcast for it, but I'm just very excited. So so that's what I played this last time. And of course, as we were talking about what we did over the gap, we might have not been doing shows, but developers were still putting out games, and boy did they put out games. Lots of games. Well, thankfully it wasn't at the rate that it normally is, otherwise we're going to be doing catch-up. We would be doing catch-up for a very long time. It seemed that game development slowed down for January and February a bit, so we'll be able to catch up in a few weeks. But for the next few weeks, we're going to have a catch-up section instead of an honorable mention section. So we'll be talking about games that we just weren't able to talk about because of the hiatus we've been on. And the first game we've got is the lovely, beautiful Etherloop. I'm thinking of a different game. This one's still beautiful, but yes. Yes, Etherloop.
Okay. Etherloop is a hardcore, fast-paced bullet hell with roguelike elements. Descend the unforgiving depths of a mysterious world, encounter challenges, discover dynamic environments, and fight ruthless creatures while unveiling the secrets of Etherloop.
Yeah, so it's basically a bullet hell roguelike. It looks kind of fun. Although the main character looks like that character from Moonlighter.
So, yeah, I see that.
I almost thought it was like a sequel to that game or something, but no, it's just the same aesthetic, I guess. You know, white hair with a headband. So,
the character kind of looks too small or something. You know, when we've talked about like when the developers have moved out, so you can see the sort of like entire map that you're on. but because they've done that, like any characters they have in or enemies, it looks too small. What they're trying to do, I think that's what this suffers from.
Yeah, I think it would be fine on my big monitor on my desk, but then I'm sitting like right here. But for most people, you're going to be sitting further back. Yeah, it's just too small. It is too small for most people.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not coordinated enough for bullet hells.
No, me neither. But its features are a large variety of unique monsters, each with their own behaviors and patterns, random encounters, challenges, trap rooms, and mysterious scenarios, a multitude of weapons, abilities, and items which allow for limitless synergy combos. Take your own approach to intense fights in procedurally generated levels. Compete with other players and your friends through leaderboards. That's nice. It does say single player, so it doesn't say online. Well, it says leaderboards. I think there's Steam leaderboards. So
yeah. Yeah, this is by the Moonlens dev, which I've not been able to find much information about them. So, but it is their first game.
Okay, not seeing the people that have put reviews. I'm not seeing an awful lot of long times. It's like 3 hours. Someone does have 36 hours, 30 hours, but seems people are jumping in, playing for a bit, and maybe putting it down again.
Yeah, this is probably not one of those really... This is probably one of those roguelikes where it's kind of optional to go the hardcore route, where you've got, like, you can play to a certain point, get to the end, and voila, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then there's those handful of people that are going to keep playing.
Checking the price. So yeah, this is £9.29, and it does have a soundtrack for £2.99. I think it's a little pricey for what it is.
Yeah, if it's only about 3 hours to actually like complete the campaign sort of thing, that would be kind of short. Yeah.
How much is it in US?
It is $11.99 US.
Yeah.
And $2.99 for the soundtrack. Alrighty. Our next title actually has its roots in a web series. Like if this was a Spanish language Flash animated web series, Kofi Quest, and now there's a game, Kofi Quest Alpha Mod.
So, Kofi Quest Alpha Mod is a not-so-serious adventure that brings together mechanics from action RPG and RTS games. You'll control Kofi, a weak, lazy, and unlucky video game character that will be followed by a group of interesting and pathetic
mini-series, the web series that they did of this. It's on YouTube, actually. You can watch the whole thing. It's kind of like poking fun at Zelda was basically the premise. But it's neat that they're now going into the game, and I like how the game has the same aesthetic as the animation. So it's cool.
So I do like the look of the characters. I just don't like the look of the maps.
Oh yeah, that sort of isometric cube base, square based stuff.
Well, it just looks really. It doesn't look. The maps don't look interesting to me. It's like this screen just put a few shrubs and whatnot and trees, but that's it. That's all it is. And from what they're showing, that's a lot of the game. There's not much variety in maps. You can go. There's a couple of few dungeons, but it looks so bad. That's the thing. You really when you hear someone like for a game like they do RPGs and they say, they bring in a separate sort of map designer, or this is why it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying. Like, it definitely, if you're going to be in an RPG, it's going to take several hours. And you're gonna want some visual panache and some visual differences as you go through it.
Yeah.
Even if it is just a grid-based situation, like, you can spice it up like this. Yeah. RTS, RPG, and graphic adventure. Do they mean, like, graphic novel? I mean, graphic... What genre is that?
Yeah, so story, sort of like story adventure kind of thing, so I guess.
Yep.
So yeah, explore neighborhood and uncover loads of secrets. Real-time combat similar to action RPGs with troops control. Gear your troops to achieve victory. Troop captains with special skills. The story will immerse you in a comic adventure with tons of situation characters. Voice acting. Cool soundtrack inspired by JRPG. Your sword's broken and your best friend's a booger, but you can ride a direwolf.
Okay. I have heard the voice acting, and actually they did get some pretty good voice acting done for
that's
it.
good.
So
that's good.
That is good. The soundtrack is $8.99 US.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, it's I just know it's like it's £6.19 here.
Are there 50 tracks on this thing? Like, how long is this?
I know, I'm curious.
Ooh.
Oh, there are.
Oh,
there are a lot of
crap.
tracks.
Okay, there's 82 tracks.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, maybe $8 isn't it? Ridiculous, but
then again, studio or something, and it's like, you know, I think as much as you want to pay the people that have made it and everything, you put the music in, put the effort into that music. I don't think the customers would readily pick that up. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, especially when it's probably going to be there probably will be like I mean, you can open up the game and oftentimes people can find the audio files.
Yeah,
but I don't know how they do that.
The game is $14.99. I'm just seeing, you know, how long it is. I mean, it's like a proper RPG kind of thing. I've seen people with over with like 40 hours of gameplay sort of thing, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's good.
$20 US. Seems fair. So
yeah.
Alrighty. Our next title is Effie. Oh, and the previous game would love to studios out of Valencia, and this next game is also out of Valencia. By Inverge Studios.
Sorry, it's taking a bit longer to load. Effie is a 3D action adventure game that combines classic elements from the genre, such as combat, platforming, and puzzles, with the exploration of an expanded world. Live a unique fantasy adventure and relive the look and feel of old-school video games.
I have not played this, but I have seen a lot of Let's Players, and it definitely comes off as a sort of PS2 era 3D adventure game. That's very much what this is, and which it uses old conventions a bit to a fault, even where sometimes there's just things where it's like the camera's annoying, or it's just like it's very nostalgic. Like if you would think, if not for the visuals, you would think this was on the PS2, which is an experience some people are looking for. But yeah, there's certain areas where they could have modernized and it wouldn't necessarily have hurt the nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. It's like there's something slightly off that I'm not thrilled with. Just looking at the screenshots and everything.
Yeah, there is a bit odd with the lighting, I think. I think it's the lighting.
No, yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, there is just, like, something odd about it. I feel like they should have used a less graphically intensive lighting and less bokeh, too. Like, they use the bokeh effect, you know, that sort of blurry effect that you use in DSLR cameras. They don't need to use that for this. Just let it look a bit more comic-y.
Yeah, they don't, and plus I don't think they've used it very well either. Like, it doesn't blur at the right point, so there's not I don't know, it just doesn't look quite right. Yeah.
There's another thing. There is also some really... It's not a hard game, but there are a couple points in this game, according to Let's Player, where it's just like the difficulty spiked, and then you're like, how do I get past this? They did eventually get past it after 20 or 30 tries, but they were just like, okay, and then it's back to kind of the more easy sort of experience. And so...
Yeah, but it sounds like Psychonauts. It's like, it's all like gently ramping up just a bit, and then in the end bit it just spikes up exponentially, and it's like near impossible to complete, and it's like, but I'm so close to the end. But yeah, I'm looking to see like how you know, the times people have played, and it's like I can't see 3 hours, but it's not like there's not like consistent times of like longer hours, and it's $17.99.
Yeah,
and I think that's for these type of games. I think it's way too much. It's way too much.
I think it's about 6 to 8 hours normally. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. We see a lot of games for that sort of time, and usually they're about a tenner. You know, $10.99 or $9.99, something like that. And that's, I think, for 6 to 8 hours, that's kind of what you should be paying. You know.
Yeah, and this is 20 US.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, that is Effie by Inverge Studios. Our next title is from Barcelona, Spain. So Spain, 3 out of 4 games we talked about have been out of Spain. So, but this is a solo dev, Pixelsha, The Supper.
The Supper is a short adventure game about the darkest side of the human soul. Miss Appleton, always a wellspring of kindness until the voice started talking to her.
Yeah, this is sort of I guess a visual horror pixel art adventure game. It's very odd. It's a very strange game.
I mean, it looks like very point and click kind of game. Yeah, I think it is a point and click game, and you've got like 4 inventory slots or something. But yeah, I really like the art style.
It is. I particularly like the environments. I'm not thrilled with the character designs. I get the style, but the environments are gorgeous. So
I might put this on my wish list. It looks so interesting. I'm curious. I'm curious to read about the game. In this short adventure, The Supper, Miss Appleton wakes up in her tavern kitchen. The voice inside her head is still there. It won't leave her alone. It commands her to serve a very special meal to some distinguished customers. From Octavie Navarro, creator of the critically acclaimed short games Midnight Scenes, and the librarian comes a delicious treat for adventure game fans. Tiny snack to consume while you make your afternoon coffee or right before your bed. Oh dear. So yeah, it is a point and click. It's a point and click game.
Yep.
Yeah, this is it's free. It looks like it's 40 minutes long. I was seeing half an hour to 40 minutes. That, you know, that's not, yeah, it's a nice little snack.
Yeah. And if you want to support the dev, there's a $2 supporter pack, which is a PDF art book. So,
oh, that's really good. That's something I'd probably do. Because yeah, I just really love.
Octavie just put it up there like that, so that's neat. So, but yeah, The Supper. And with that, we can start the release list for the last 2 weeks. Don't worry, those games that we talked about were from January 21st through to the 28th. We will get to the rest of January and February in future episodes. We will. And of course, the remainder bit of... but today, we're going to be covering all the March games that came out. So... yeah. So starting with our first one, had our first oh wow, I wrote my note back poorly. Anyhow, this first game, Puddle Nights, could have been titled Milady Sim, but I think Puddle Nights is probably a better name.
Puddle Nights, a mud-based puzzle game where you use the lengthy capes of chivalrous knights to cover puddles and help members of the upper class away from badly sanitized streets. Solve your way through increasingly tricky puzzles in this light-hearted medieval mind muck.
I quite like this idea, and it seems that there's a lot of really complex puzzles to solve, which is neat.
Yeah, I was sort of like recommended this by another reviewer, and because I do like other puzzle games as well, and yeah, I just thought, wow, this is so cool. I really like the concept of it, and of course you can rip your cape as well, so to make it shorter, and it's just very interesting. He did the way you can solve puzzles, and there are 2 knights and there's a platform that you need to get across, so you can walk on top of the other knight.
Yeah, there is a really just clever set of gimmicks going on here that they just kind of all combine to make a puzzle game, and apparently there's like over 100 puzzles in this game. So
wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100 plus head-scratching levels of increasing difficulty. Step on heads, tear up capes, hold down drawbridges, and perform other inventive tactical maneuvers. A fresh take on logic puzzles. No pressure plates, keys to collect, or boxes to push. Mistake-making and experimentation enabled by undo and reset functions. No rush, all the time in the world to think and analyze. I think the Radio Tom would like something like this as well, because he does a lot of these kind of puzzle games. So yeah, I will definitely pass this along to him. But
I like how they have the demonstration of the mechanics here too. That's really helpful.
Yeah, because that's always a thing. With puzzle games, it's like, yeah, but what are the other mechanics that you've put in, and it's good that you can see them right there. Very specific.
The knights look so cute.
Oh, but yeah, this is it. It's the characters and everything, and the map are designed very simply but very effectively. And yeah, it just works so well.
Yeah. The 2 devs are based out of Helsinki, Finland. The studio is called Lockpickle. Apparently, so one of the devs, the main developer, he got second place in a game jam, and then another game jam, he met the second developer, and together they made this. So that is just really cool. That sort of social networking that they did. So. Yep, and this is their first game on Steam, so that's awesome. I believe they were on itch.io before, like the other games the developers made.
No, it's really good. I think this definitely needs a bit more exposure. And it's $10.29. Maybe it's a bit more pricey. I mean, even though it's got like over 100 puzzles, I think for puzzle games, you might not put as many hours in. It kind of like can run out of steam for you. It depends. I feel. So yeah, I'm not sure. Like charging that much is appropriate. Anyway, well,
yeah, this looks like it should be on the Switch actually. but
Yeah.
I don't see anything about it. But it looks like it could very easily. It's got that polish that I feel like it could be on the Switch.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Alrighty. So our next game is by a studio that made Daymare, another game that we talked about in the past, a really gruesome kind of dark game. Well, they seem to be turning over another leaf, which is a pun that you will see very soon. Yes. So it seems that they're turning over a new leaf with Weakless.
Weakless is a beautiful puzzle adventure game with stunning organic environments filled with curious life forms and a bioluminescent glow. Play as two weavelings, carefree wooden creatures, one of which is deaf, the other blind. Switch between the two, solve unique puzzles, and save their world.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder how mechanically that ends up working with... I wonder if when you play as the deaf one, you can't hear anything, like there's no sound. I'm curious.
I imagine it plays a bit like Two Brothers. Oh, I see when it's like the color goes when you're playing one of the brothers.
And when he's the blind one, he can only like sense so far around him, and everything else is just black. That's interesting. Yeah. All right, that is a neat mechanic.
It looks really well done. The environments look fantastic. You know, the maps look, you know, really full and just very varied. And yeah, this is good map design, good level design.
I'm also impressed. So the developer is Punk Nation. They're out of Cieszyn, Poland, and I'm just really impressed with the variety that they do, because they have one of their first games is like a multiplayer first-person shooter type game, you know, like a Call of Duty type thing or a Counter-Strike type thing. And then they had Daymare, which is a horror like third-person shooter. And then they've got some other games. And then they have Weakless, which is like this really like they've just shown that they have a wide portfolio, which I like to see in a studio. They're not a one-trick pony.
Oh, when you click on Punk Notion, opens up to shows there's one other game that they're releasing sometime this year, and it's similar in a way. Like the look of it looks pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, and so this is also very different from other games they've done. So that is very interesting. I think it was Daymare. Yeah, this one. Punk. Interesting. So I looked up Punk Nation and had them as the developer of this. Am I wrong?
Is it? Have you put Punk Nation or Punk Notion?
Punk Notion. Punk Notion. Let me see. Now, I'm gonna have to do research because I'm pretty sure they were involved with the development of Daymare as well. At least when I looked on their website. But maybe they have a publisher. I'm gonna have to find out that, because I was just like, oh, yeah, interesting, they did that. Yeah,
the publisher's Another Road, so maybe it's that.
Maybe that might be the case. Another Road. Interesting. And sometimes people put I've noticed that developers sometimes also put on the developer publisher incorrectly or make a different category on Steam, and it can get confusing. So
no, completely.
So I'll have to do more research on that.
So resin is your source of life. Protect the village and the weavelings' civilization by restoring the steady flow of resin, life energy for every living creature in this world. Save the land from the advancing rot. In Weakless, you will follow the story of an unlikely friendship that develops wordlessly between the stoic blind one and the energetic deaf one. Peek into the deaf one's sketchbook and gain a unique insight to what he thinks about this whole ordeal. Enter the beautiful, organic, bioluminescent world of weavelings, filled with the curious life forms and mysteries of a bygone civilization waiting to be uncovered. Get a glimpse of the artistic vision of how visually impaired and hearing impaired people perceive the world. Become a part of non-trivial narratives and satisfying exploration, enriched with arcade puzzle elements. Experience stunning music composed on instruments from all around the world, such as the Mariba Ra Vast or Urdu? Urdu? I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. So
Oh, you do. You do. I don't know.
all right.
I'm sorry, guys. It's not one of my strong suits.
Yep.
Oh dear. But this is 11:39. If there's something that appeals to you, and looking at the times, not seeing very long playthroughs. I'm seeing about most like under 5 hours. It's like 5.5 hours or less.
Okay, so yeah, and it's $14.99 US. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bit pricey. A bit pricey.
Okay.
Yeah, this reminds me of the brothers or two brothers?
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me the sort of like gameplay of that, because one brother is older and so can is a lot stronger and so can do different things than the younger brother can. The younger brother obviously is smaller, can crawl into places, can reach things, and is a little bit more nimble. So yeah, he's a bit more maneuverability. So yeah, it reminds me of that sort of similar mechanics.
Yeah. Yeah, there's also, let me see, A Plague Tale did that as well, where you have the big sister who's bigger and has the ability, she has like a sling, and when she gets tackled, she can like shiv someone. But then the little boy, he's so small, he can fit into all these small spaces, and so he can sneak and get things and won't be detected, kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I like that, because there's nothing more annoying than an escort quest. And I've seen games where there's two characters and it's just an escort quest. It's awful. But lately, I feel like game developers have, at least by and large, there's made several examples where to do it right. I mean, The Last of Us also did that too. Like the girl you're escorting in The Last of Us, which that's entire show, the game, I call it a show because it's like a TV show. You're escorting this little girl, but she's so useful.
Yeah.
It's not annoying. So anyhow, how long will you wait? A lot of folks seem to think 400 days is reasonable, judging by this next game's review count. It is The Longing.
An unusual mix of adventure and idle game. In utter loneliness deep below the surface, it's your task to wait for the awakening of your king for 400 days. I've actually played this.
You have?
I have played this. The Adventure X convention that I go to every year, they had this game because it's by the publisher is Application Systems Heidelberg, and they are renowned for doing a lot of point and click games. So and this was one of their latest ones, and I couldn't really get into it, I have to say, because it's like, your king. I think it was, they told us like it was a god or something you were waiting for, and they had to sort of recharge their power. So while they were sleeping, you basically you're in like your bedroom, and you say, oh, I could do a painting, or I could like play with this ball, or I could just do this, or and it's just like really, you're doing really mundane things. It's not like you're doing something really, I don't know, like super interesting or something. But that was the beginning of the game. I think as you go on, it unlocks more things, and you kind of like go on a kind of adventure sort of thing. But yeah, the beginning bit is like a bit slow. And yeah, but I think you just have to push through that first bit, and then it becomes a bit more interesting, or a lot more interesting. But it was a bit odd showing it at a convention, and the demo was only that bit, and it was just like, well, this isn't anything here, really.
You have not impressed me.
No, move along.
Yeah. It is apparently based off of a tradition. It's developed by 6 devs who went to at least 2 of them went to college at this at the Baden-Württemberg like school of film, a film school. So that's why they connected and started making this. So, yep.
Yeah, I think there's like you can have multiple playthroughs because it says it's slow exploration of a vast hand-drawn cave, atmospheric dungeon, synth soundtrack, various endings. So several endings you can get. Lots of well-hidden secrets, time-based puzzles. So yeah, that's another thing. He said that there are certain things happening at certain times, so you have to sort of like be in a certain place at a certain time to be able to catch it, sort of thing. So yeah, you have to sort of like keep exploring and be there at the right times. And he says a lonely but cute protagonist.
Yeah. Well, for example, there's this pool that there's a dripping water and the pool is gradually filling. That's probably one of the puzzles. Because then you can swim across and get to the other side. Yeah, it's a patient simulator. So. It
is. And I've seen someone like with over 70 hours and the thumbs down for it. See, I've seen a lot of people, probably putting in 20 hours in, so probably like leaving it idle and see what's happening, and they're giving the thumbs up. So I said, there's someone says, "Nice game, I feel better now." That was their review. so yeah, no, it's I think it's if you have patience, and if you're like someone that go away for a bit and do something else and just leave it running, I think that's the game for you. Yeah. This is the game for you.
Recognizing that this is an idle game, so
yeah,
like just maybe have it in a screen on screen while you do other stuff. And it's like, oh, what's the little guy doing? Okay.
But yeah, it's $12.99. So.
All right. And it is $14.99 in the US. So I have a question. Have you ever had sympathies for the Goombas in Super Mario? Do you feel bad for them? You wonder how they feel. Well, this next game might be for you. It is Wunderling. Wunderling. Yes.
In Wunderling, you're not a hero, but a low-level video game goon who has just unlocked the power to jump. Chase down the hero across beautiful scrolling levels and show him who's the real boss.
So the gimmick here is that you can't stop moving, because you're just a dumb, just a dumb goon. You just keep walking, and so you get. It's just that now that you can jump, you don't have to stay in the same place, and that's pretty neat.
That's cool. I mean, personally not very good at personally not good at platformers, so it's not my kind of thing. But I saw this game when it was released. I saw it on my list of releases, and I thought, wow, this sounds very interesting. I think it'd be. I know a lot of people who love platformers, so I think they'd be very interested in this game.
I like how you can customize him too. Like, he's just really cute, and it's just neat that you can customize how he looks as well. I like that.
It just looks like a very well done platformer. Like the whole, the world, the dungeons, the characters, everything looks very varied, very interesting. And there's a lot of different mechanics going on as well. It just looks really well done.
The pixel art is fantastic. It's just very beautiful. But yeah, that's by it's by Retroid out of Gothenburg, Sweden. Yeah, it's beautiful. I like it a lot. See. 27 million outfit combinations.
Wow. That's amazing.
Lots of customization.
The game is around about 13 hours. Around about that. I'm seeing someone says, oh, they have just finished it. And they said it's well, they put there's 13 hours of gameplay, so it's around about that. So yeah, you jump between platforms and solve puzzles with one hand. Discover a hidden treasure on each stage. Unlock the hidden wonder moves like boost. And you are the boss.
I like it. It's just it is neat that since you don't control movement and you're just like jump here, yeah, you do just play with one hand. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have an injury on one hand, you can still play. So congrats. That's neat.
Oh yeah, because I suppose it's going left and right, but it's only if you hit a wall, then it turns directions. So that's very interesting.
Yeah. It's so let me see Oh, so there was this joke I heard recently that kind of lines up with this. It was when you encounter the boss and you hear boss music. I mean, in this game. All right, Wunderling. If Goombas are not your object of empathy, medieval Slavic kings might be in, yes, your grace.
These are troubling times, your grace. The petitioners' petty matters exceed our limited resources, to say nothing of the war. A careful balance must be struck. Your throne awaits.
First of all, the pixel art is just beautiful. Yeah. It's lovely. Amazing. I love it. Yeah, it's lovely. It's got this cool kind of idea where you're doing just the king,
just on Discord or anything. But yeah, but I've actually have watched someone play because they did like a demo. So I watched someone play the demo. We might have spoken about it actually. So yeah, it's not just that you'll be sitting on your throne and making those kind of decisions because the peasantry will come up to you and say something's been stolen, or I need a loan, or I need this. Can I have some money from the crown, or but they say, war is encroaching, so you've got to send out spies to these camps, or you've got to hire generals, witches, and hunters, and things like that. So, and you've only have a limited amount in your coffers, so you've got to make decisions on who you're going to say yes to. So that's only one part of the gameplay. The other part of this gameplay is you've got to visit different parts of the castle and deal with your family, because one of your daughters you maybe have to marry off because to settle to bring stability, and you've got another daughter is being more of a handful, so you have to sort of be more interpersonal with them, or there's all sorts of really interesting things, and you maybe you've got someone in the dungeon that you have to go visit and trying to interrogate them to get answers out of. So yeah, there's all these really interesting things, really interesting mechanics, and it looked spectacular, and just the story's just so intriguing. The thing with the war as well, because you only have so many turns that you can do. So yeah, it's really good. I want to get this.
Yeah, it's there's management, there's sort of a story, visual novel aspect to it. Yeah, it all comes to
plays Final Fantasy 11 with me.
Oh,
so yeah, so he snuck in.
Oh, nice. Welcome. It says yes, Your Grace. Oh, and it is $19.99.
It's £15.49, and that you can get the soundtrack bundle, or just the soundtrack by itself, and yeah,
the soundtrack does sound amazing.
Yeah, it is nice. It is very nice. The demo, and I think there's the demo still available, so you can play that to see what you think, and it cuts off of sort of a very nice cliffhanger. So yeah, when I saw that, it's yeah, I really need to get this at some point.
Oh, interesting. So I wonder if they're going to plan on a sequel then.
Oh no, that's the demo. The demo sort of
the
leaves
demo
that
ends off.
cliffhanger.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, sorry. Didn't hear the demo part. Okay, that makes sense. All right. The sixth game might actually get me to play Picross. It is Murder by Numbers.
Sorry. Solve pixel puzzles to find clues. Use those clues to interrogate witnesses, work your way to the truth, and uncover the mystery of murder by numbers.
So I do think this is a fascinating way to use that sort of Picross mechanic, and that, you know, oh, the handprint. You end up drawing out a handprint, and it's like, oh, this is what I've discovered. It's neat because you're taking just a gameplay gimmick, like Minesweeper, essentially. I mean, it's not the same as Minesweeper. I get it, but it's just a sort of fascinating how it's like, you take that and you pop it into a visual novel. So.
It's kind of similar to like Ace Attorney kind of thing. So you've got to make sort of like accusations of people, but you have to, you know, find the clues, and that's when you use that pixel puzzle thing. But it's very interesting characters. I think you're an actress. So you're an actress whose role in a TV series is playing a detective. But someone got murdered on the set, and you're implicated, and so you're having to clear your name, basically. So that's why, and you bump into this mysterious robot who's helping you. So that's how. So that's how you're on the case.
I'm probably gonna have to play this.
I really like the story, and I really do like visual novels, so I've put this on my wish list. It's £10.79, so I don't think it's too bad a price. You're looking at around about 15 hours of gameplay. For some people, I'm seeing a lot of like 15-20 hours.
Yeah, I really want to check this out. This looks really fun. If anything, just to uncover the mystery and figure that out. That seems really fun. Right, Murder by Numbers. This is by Mediatonic out of London, England. They are actually a pretty large independent studio in London. They've made a lot of games.
Friend.
Oh my gosh, they did.
Pigeon. Yeah.
And they made Foul Play.
Yeah. So yeah, they're pretty prolific.
Oh my! If their writing's probably gonna be great. If they made How to Food Boyfriends. Oh no. There's a twist, apparently. I don't know what it is, but it's a horrifying twist. So,
I have that game. I do. It's great. It is great.
Yeah, Murder by Numbers. And a game that we talked in, I think, our first episode. It was one of our very early episodes. Sunday, March 8th, we have Pendula Swing. The full, complete shebang. The whole thing. All of it.
Explore a memorable 1920s fantasy world where you interact, befriend, and romance hundreds of characters with unique quests as an already rich and famous heroine.
Romance hundreds of characters.
We mentioned this every time they would bring like a DLC of the episode, another episode out. So I think it was like 7 episodes altogether. And we let you guys know because it's always great when a studio finishes a game or they're working on a game. It's like, look, yeah, you know, this is still happening. They're still releasing more parts of the story. So yeah.
And it's a cool setting, sort of 19. I mean, there's a lot of room. Like, take the 1990s, but it's fantasy. Like,
yeah,
there's just so many things they could do here. And it's a cool idea. I like that the whole thing is complete now, and you can get it all for $16.99. So
yeah, it's same price in the UK.
oh, so that means the UK is getting shafted.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The features are diversity of characters from LGBTQ+ to wheelchairs. You will encounter various characters with unique personalities, tastes, and sometimes disabilities. Unusual setting, Tolkien meets the Great Gatsby, because really, who can resist a beautiful elven flapper? Unique protagonists, you are playing as Berlin, the most famous hero this world has ever seen. You're a celebrity and richer than you can imagine. You stumble upon statues, books, and movies depicting you, and you even have a fan club. Progressive dating options. You are a widow who has mourned the passing of your wife for a long time. Allow love back into your life by dating a variety of characters of diverse genders and relationship preferences. Lots of cute pets. Not only does Berlin have a very sassy cat, but she can also adopt pretty much every cute critter that allows it. More than 7 hours of content, 400 unique and diverse characters that you can interact with, and over 160 quests and storylines. These are spread across 7 main areas that reflect iconic 1920s locations, such as the Speakeasy, the newly invented cinema, and the department store. No violence. Berlin is simply too powerful and famous to hit anyone. Besides, these days they write every single gossip in the newspapers. Original soundtrack. You will fulfill your every need for swing and jazz. So yeah, you can also shop and style yourself, and your home.
You can drink alcohol and become drunk. So that's interesting. So it's all sort of character drama type game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's multiple episodes and plot lines. Let me see. There's only one review on this, but I think if we go to the episode 7, we'll see what people think. How people think it wrapped up. Let me see. Oh. Oh, come on. Where do I go to see all the episodes? There we go. I just need to go to the developer. That makes sense. Episode 7. I am curious how people rated this. No reviews on episode 7.
I think, like with the first episode, there were a lot of reviews for that one. And they're very positive. And there's people saying there's a lot of polish on it. I'm curious, you know, I'd be curious to play this one because there are a lot of quests there. There are a lot of quests, a lot of interaction. I would just want to see how it sort of plays, though. You know what I mean? Like how to get a quest, you just got to like explore around, and do you have to do it within a certain amount of time, or there's a lot. I have a lot of questions. The only thing I don't like about it is the picture, the frames of the characters when they zoom in, and then there are these 3D pictures of the character, and it just looks really bad. It looks like from back in the 90s or something.
Oh, yeah.
Bad.
Yeah, it definitely has some issues with the aesthetic. I mean, from the third person isometric, it looks gorgeous, though. But,
yeah.
maybe you should have used a 2D drawn portrait.
Yeah. I think, that would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Maybe go a little more low tech, a bit more effort, but a little more low tech, and that probably would have been better. So, yep. And that is Pendula Swing by Valiant GS out of Stockholm. Valiant Game Studio out of Stockholm, Sweden. Oh, there we go. Tuesday, March 10th, our next title is Climbros.
Climbros is an arcade game with an amazing gameplay. You can explore beautiful and diverse worlds by yourself or together in co-op mode. Climb, discover, cooperate, and have fun. Join Climbros. Wait, it's an arcade game with an amazing gameplay? An arcade game with an amazing gameplay.
I mean, it is, the studio's in Gdansk, Poland, so...
Oh, okay.
Maybe. They're trying, but it's just, that's a... Normally, you don't have to say that your game is fun or
yeah.
Just talk about the features of the game. You don't have to necessarily say like, yeah. And sometimes it's okay. I guess not saying that like beautiful environments. I mean that's fine, but usually it's like I can see that the fire environments are beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, stuff like that always bothers me. But writing blurbs is hard. I know that.
Yeah. Well, we since we've been doing the curation page, is like because you've only have like you can only write a small blurb basically for a game. So yeah, right. It's like you've got to condense all that information down and write it in like 200 characters. I think it is. It's difficult. It's very difficult.
So I like the sort of variety of the art of the locations that you can be in this game, etc.
Oh, you cut out. At least for me, anyway.
It's not... Oh, no, it is. What the... Oh, no, it's not. That's the mic aux. Okay, it's not cutting out for me. Why is it cutting out for you? I will just go ahead... Oh, I can't go into settings. My camera will disappear. Nah, let's go into settings. I'm going to see if there is a voice and video. Now we should not cut out anymore.
Nice.
So there we go. Because sometimes Discord just decides to like, oh, you're so loud. Let's put the bar way up here. All right. Good old Discord. Anyhow, so with this, it's neat how they have a lot of different environments, etc. But they call this really nice pixel art.
No, it's a bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like the quality. There's some bits that are really nice, and then the other parts are just like, ugh.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just so that's one thing. Like the aesthetic doesn't completely sell me. It's got some good aspects. And the gameplay looks like it could be fun, especially with a group of people just climbing and then like swinging each other and see what happens. I could see this could be a great game to, ruin some friendships possibly. Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, this is although it says single player on the information thing.
Yeah, so this is by Toucan Studio out of Gdansk, Poland, and it is $7.99 US.
It's 20% off right now. It's £5.75. But yeah, there's just looking at the more about the game. It's like climbs, jump, swing, invent your own climbing style. Effective and attractive, overcome obstacles lying before you reach your goal the most efficient way. So there's a lot of exploring you can do. Test your skills in various conditions. Snow, rocks, enormous trees, or drifting asteroids are just a few of many challenges waiting for you. On your way, you'll find tons of unique locations and characters. Cooperate, climb together with your friends. Find out who you can cooperate. Find out if you can cooperate to achieve your common goal. When fates of the team depends equally on each member, will you achieve a perfect symbiosis as an ultimate climbing machine?
Yep. Yeah, that is cool that you unlock characters and such. That provides a neat amount of progression. I'm always happy about that. Yeah, and it's just I like the absurdity where you're climbing in hell, you're climbing in outer space, you're climbing
Yeah, that's
in
kind
the
of cool.
middle of a city. I like the creativity in that aspect. That's pretty cool. They could have just done mountains, canyons, cliffs, and then they just decided to go completely off the rails with it. So that is cool. Our next title is the obligatory post-cyberpunk neon-soaked action adventure, Neon City Riders.
Explore a decaying futuristic city in search of items, superpowers, and companions to free all the turfs of the evil gangs and unite their people again.
Yeah. This is by Mecha Studios out of Mexico. It is a 5-dev team. And, again, like, I have a little bit of a feeling of inconsistency. I feel this is more consistent than Climbros, though. But there's some stuff that's like, oh, that looks really nice. And there's other stuff where it seems a little barren. Like, they seem to texture some areas a lot, and then other areas are just, like, a single color. And I'm like, that's kind of jarring.
The thing is, like, when you're in the city, it looks really fantastic and everything, and then when you go, it seems you go to sort of like different areas, there's not as much thought or effort being put in. I don't know, it just doesn't look as good.
Yeah. But so yeah, just sort of on the aesthetic side. But as far as an ARPG, it does look really fun. A pixel art ARPG. This looks like something I might want to check out.
Yeah, it does. It does look like, you know, fun, fast-paced kind of thing. It looks pretty good. There's not that much about the game. Rick, a rad masked vigilante in search of superpowers and companions to defeat hordes of vicious enemies. Solve defiant rad. He's rad, man. Solve defiant puzzles, unlock new paths, complete engaging side quests, and finally free the decaying futuristic neon city that has been seized by a group of superpowered gangs. Fight in a deep and fast-paced combat based on unlockable super abilities. Explore the open-ended progression and lots of optional side quests. I'm seeing about, there's not that many reviews. I've seen like 6 to 12 hours. And this was a Kickstarter.
Oh, it was. Interesting. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my wish list. I think it is up my alley. I need to check this one out.
The thing is, I'm curious about, because if this was a Kickstarter and you haven't got people, you've only got like 6 reviews so far. It is kind of a bit telling, really, because it's normally if something you made like a very good product, and people who kickstarted it play it, and they tend to review it. They will tend to review it.
Maybe they gave them, if maybe part of the perk was that they got a DRM free version or something. But I'm gonna have to look that up. That's the only other situation I can think of is.
Well, there were 369 backers.
Yeah.
So wow. I'm trying to see that it's I think there's a welcome pack. Let's see how I'm looking for the actual digital game. There we go.
Oh yeah.
So it just says digital copy, so that could be Steam and DRM free. I'm surprised they don't say DRM free.
Yeah, so I mean, it was probably just a Steam key then. Which maybe just people haven't gone around to playing it. Then yeah.
I'm curious. I'm very, very, very curious about like people who backed it, what their opinions is. There is someone on here. Yeah, they said I was a Kickstarter backer. This was a really fun Zelda-like beat 'em up. The game has a lot to explore, a lot to fight, and a bunch of puzzles on the easy to moderate difficulty side. It looks great, really living up to its namesake, and it also sounds great with every area and boss getting their own tune. The story isn't particularly in-depth or surprising, but every gang leader has their own little story, making them seem somewhat relatable. English obviously isn't the developer's first language, but I don't feel it ever got in the way of the story or quests. I mostly just corrected the grammar in my mind and moved on. Yeah, they gave who's it? Gray Kane gave a very in-depth review of it. So
okay. Yeah. So, and that is Neon City Riders when it's $19.99 US. So, well, $20.
Yeah. $15.49 is a bit. I don't know. It's a bit.
Personally, I'll be waiting for sale.
Yeah.
Previously known for platformer musicals, like literally the studio's last game. This next studio, Dumativa, their last game was a musical platformer. They now have this new title is Shieldmaiden.
The end of the world just started and everyone is gone. The machines took over and your only goal is to look for your missing sister in a retro wave atmosphere. Fight and find your way into the danger with your shield in this vibrant pixel art world.
Yeah, this one looks pretty neat. And in the studio, their previous game was a musical, so it's not in English. The guy sings in Portuguese for the entire thing. Mm-hmm. So for Portuguese players, it's like, oh, okay, it's a musical. Whereas for English players, it's just the soundtrack is some guy singing in Portuguese. But it's pretty funny and quirky, and it's cool that they've got their second game out. Shieldmaiden.
I think it looks very interesting. I like the pixel art and the backgrounds look very interesting as well. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes the foreground doesn't look as well done. I feel like there's inconsistencies in quality, but. Mm-hmm. But yeah, other than that, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good.
Yeah. I like the setting. I like the art style. So like, oh, the robots took over. That's kind of neat. And the mechanic of you throwing this sort of boomerang shield and seeing how you are able to attack using that. Like you can throw it and move, and so it goes around in a circle trying to get back to you. There's just it's neat. There seems to be a lot of mechanical depth to this game. Yeah, I like that.
It does. The devs have said this is for 4 hours of gameplay, counting secrets and collectibles. So that's if you want to explore everything. 6 unique skills to be learned and mastered, friendly and accessible gameplay and controls, 5 levels full of combat and action puzzles, each one with an epic boss fight.
Oh.
So yeah, if you're kind of just going through it is kind of like 2 hours, really, and that it is 11.39. So I'll have to really wonder about the
$14.99 US. And yeah, there's some reviewers that's like, hey, I finished this in 90 minutes. Like, and they wasn't too happy about that. Most reviews are positive, but it's like I can definitely see that people might want to wait. I do like that they're honest and they just say it's a 4-hour game. So yeah, I like that. I appreciate that.
But price it for a 4-hour game.
Yeah, being $14.99, I feel like the studio would be doing itself a favor to lower the price and make a lot more sales that way.
Yeah, completely.
Yep. And the thing is, I mean, yeah, in the past you could get when it was just console games before this era of Steam, the situation with Steam is there's a large supply of games that you can get for $5 that are excellent experiences that are competing with these other games where, yeah, maybe in the past you could buy a console game and it's like 10 hours of gameplay for $25. We're not in that era anymore. It's very easy to get especially with sales, very inexpensive experiences for many, many hours. But, still, I say it's fair to give an hour and a half per dollar spent sort of thing. But, I mean,
because you want, like, developers to get paid.
Yes.
So you want if someone makes art, you want them to earn money from their art, their artistry, but you've got to look at the market and you've got to look at your competitors and you've got to see what your game is worth. You might think that it's, oh well, yes, it is worth $20, but other people are selling it for a $5. You can't you can't do like a comparison, really.
That is the situation. It's just how it is nowadays. It is the market nowadays. We are spoiled as consumers. We are spoiled with choice.
Yeah, unfortunately, the market is oversaturated, and it's and this is why we do this, so we can pick out the gems, because it's swamped with so much dross, unfortunately.
Alrighty, but yeah, $14.99, it's just a little too much. I think I think $5.99 would have been like a sweet spot for this title. So
yeah, completely.
Yep. All right, our next title, Pixel Hunt,
is from missing dinosaur eggs in the Stone Age to a king's crown in medieval times. Can you find them all? Discover, create, and share worlds of your own hidden treasures and hidden through time.
I love that this has a creator mode. That is awesome.
Yes.
That sort of like Steam Workshop type thing. You suddenly give your game unlimited amounts of playtime now. Yeah. Which is awesome.
So this is like Hidden Folks, if you ever played that game, except it in color mode. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's like a Where's Wally kind of thing. And you can create now your own Where's Wally, so which I love. I've played Hidden Folks and I loved it. It was just something nice could you get like these different maps, and each thing that you click on, it will have it's sort of like its own animation, or it will do something different when you click on it. And it's just something very, very satisfying. And yeah, it was something nice to do of an evening, I think. So yeah, it's great.
It's so super cute too. I love this. It just takes me back to those like find things like picture books. I love this. But
you can't do much. You probably have it on your iPad or similar, and it's just something you can do. It's nice. Yeah,
it's so nice. I like it a lot. It is $7.19.
It's 10% off right now, and it's £5.39. So yeah, it's like appropriately priced. I've seen people with around about 8 hours of gameplay on there. And of course more if you're creating your own maps as well. So yeah.
I'm not even sure when I'd get around to playing this, but I'm tempted to buy it. So and that's the power of a price point like that. So, yeah. And of course the degree of quality that's present. This sort of, it's a consistent style. Everything here is just consistent. I love that. The line art is all the same width. It's just, if there's any parents out there, this is a game to maybe get for your kid. So
yeah.
Yep. But yeah, Hidden Through Time is developed by Crazy Monkey Studios out of Belgium. Our next title is more of a romantic type, interesting twist on the dating sim. It is Half Past Fate.
Love is in the air, but work, life, and spicy ramen keep getting in the way. From 8 hours to 8 years, this time-jumping saga will change the way you feel about fate forever.
So I know that somehow the mechanics are kind of focused around like people who happen to meet other people at this point, and then causes like a butterfly effect. Like there's that sort of thing going on. Is like in the plot. I don't know how they express that, and I'm very curious how they do it. But aesthetically, I love the neat sort of the cutaway buildings, and that it just looks very smooth.
Yeah, they're kind of like cardboard kind of thing, because it's like when people turn, it's like it. I like it. I really do like the way it looks, and everything just looks so cute.
Yeah,
this looks so cute.
This is one of the most cohesive examples of 2D in a 3D environment that I've seen. It just works. It works really well here. So even though it's probably not my cup of tea, I have to give kudos to just the style. It is fantastic.
Yeah, the environment's done really well. There's just nice little touches in there. You could tell they've put a lot of work into this. And yeah, it just looks so great. It's like an inspiring and heartwarming slice of life story set in present day. Jump through time, witness how 6 people come together over a span of 8 years. Eat spicy ramen. Immerse in our familiar world through charming 3D pixel art visuals. Learn what's different between black tea and green tea. Change a flat tire. Relish in relatable stories about life, love, and the fate that brings us together. So yeah,
it's not necessarily even just about the dating sim aspect. It's also like these 6 people are all connected in these different ways.
Yeah, this is definitely going on my wish list. It's just really something about it is just so interesting, I think. I'm not sure how long it is though. Seeing anything from I see one person with 20 hours, but a lot of people with like 7 hours or something. 7 hours, 5 hours. Sorry, that was Oh, I was supposed to order something and I completely forgot.
I am curious if there's multiple endings.
Doesn't because it doesn't say. It doesn't say.
But there has to be dialogue choices, I think. Are there?
Someone says the game's dialogue is important in this game, so pay attention to it. My only fault is sometimes it feels strung out at parts. It is not important, but this is just my opinion. The writing of Wise is fabulous, and you will learn so much about tea.
That seems to be a recurring thing. But yeah, this is by Serenity Forge out of Boulder, Colorado. It looks really good. Really, really good. And they've made a lot of games. They made The King's Bird. We talked about that.
Oh yeah. And Case of Distrust as well. That was another. Or is that the publisher?
No, this is the developer, Serenity Forge. Yep.
Because I have a Case of Distrust.
Oh no, they published it. Yeah, okay, they published it.
Yeah. So they publish because they have a different publisher for this game.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they have published their own game. They're different other people's games as well.
All these developers / publishers who are publishing and developing each other's games. That's kind of funny. But yeah, it's fantastic. Best Fate. Alrighty. And last, this is $15.99. I should say.
Yeah, it's 20% off right now, and it's £12.39.
Yep. And last but not least, Friday the 13th, March the 13th, we have an unsettling platformer called Stela.
Stela is a cinematic, atmospheric platformer about a young woman witnessing the final days.
At first, this game seems like it's like it has the art style of, I don't know, like maybe a walking sim, and then just stuff starts happening, and it's really unsettling. Yep. So it's fascinating, though.
It looks. It's one of those games where I would watch someone else to play because I'm not a platform person, but the story looks like it's interesting and there's like fantastic visuals. And they're quite effective. There's sort of these elongated limbs and everything, and these like dangers, and it looks like something maybe you could, if you're having a spooky gameplay night, it's something that you could put on and play because it's such great atmospheric style.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Godless Weeb, it looks like Inside. It does remind me of Inside. And and it's got a tonal similarity to that. Yeah, it does look like Inside. Yeah.
I like it. Just think how long it is. I think I've seen a lot of people with like 2.5 hours on there, but I suppose it has just been released.
Yeah, as of today. So maybe, a couple days ago. So maybe they've only had one game session. So
yeah. So yeah, we'll see. But it is 15% off right now, so it's £13.16. Such a weird amount.
Yeah. It's $16.99 US. With 15% off. It is. There's so much like environmental variety too. Like there seems to be so many different sets that you're in, and environments. Like this is going on my wish list. I have to check this one out. I'm too curious about it. Even though like I'm not someone who's into horror, I think I could handle this. I think it's about as spooky as I can go.
Yeah, I think it's more about the sort of like end of days sort of thing, and it's more about that kind of thing. Yeah, it's interesting.
See, what else has Skybox Labs made? They're up in Vancouver. Age of Empires. Did they publish that? Oh, they're one of the developers of Age of Empires. Interesting. Or at least Age of Empires DLC. Age of Mythology? Oh, okay. Neat.
They've worked on a lot of DLC, it seems.
Yeah, so maybe they're sort of a contract studio. But yeah, this looks fascinating. I have to check it out, Stella. And with that is the games. That is the games of March. Yay! We're back, and I hope that we won't have to leave you guys again for a while. But we are back. Yes, we are back. So I'm glad to be back. It was a long period of just like, where am I moving to? But just all this stuff, everything up in the air, changes at work, etc.
Moving, the stress of moving, then getting ill. It's not a good combo, not a great combo, unfortunately.
It's sick for 2 weeks. It was awful. But I am mostly all better. I'm still recovering. My lungs need to take some time to keep on recovering. But yeah, nice. And thank you about my haircut. Thanks. Yeah.
We're not doing dishonorables this week because with all the catching up that we've had to do. But don't worry, we'll return.
Yes. My acid reflux is gonna get just a little spared from the dishonorable mentions for a little bit. And then we can get back to stressing, me puckering, just going like after we get all caught up. So
yeah, there are some really good games that we've missed, but we'll get to and have a good chat about them. And hopefully we'll next show we'll have another guest.
Yes. We will have another guest. I'm gonna of course ask around to some of our regulars, and we got to find some new people too, I think, as well. You know, we want to freshen things up every now and then. But yeah, I'm going to ask around some of the regulars, see if they're available. Because I know, like, a lot of people have had a lot of life changes going on, but I mean, I feel like a lot of people are going to get a lot of extra time at home soon. So a lot of people are canceling plans. So maybe I'll have more of a hostage sort of, you know, set of people that's like, hey, you want to be on the show? And it's like, well, I got nothing else to do. So maybe looking on the bright side of life. Looking on the bright side. So, but yeah. Roadie, what are you up to? Let us know where the internet can find you, and
well, hopefully I will be back to do a stream at some point to finish off Nobodies. I really want to get that game finished and then move on to a few other games. My list of games with our time off from doing this show and the amount of Steam sales, they got me. They got me. And I just snapped up a load of games. Oh dear, it's terrible. So yeah, I really need what should be doing is streaming every day just to try and get through them all. Oh dear, but yeah.
My humble bundle is keeping me really stocked. I'm like, no.
But I am on twitch.tv/Roadypie. So I usually weekday, and I might throw in an odd Saturday here and there. But yeah, you usually check my Discord. Link is in my Twitch channel if you want to join.
Yep. We have a link to our
oh yes, our curator page. Here's the link. I've got it.
Oh, you got it. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to join, we slowly but surely writing up our anything that we talk about on the page. Sorry, on the show. Mm-hmm. But yeah, please follow, and if there's anything today that has been interesting for you, we would have written it.
Yeah, and let us know also what you thought about games as well, because we might we'd like to know what people's feedback on different titles are. So
yeah, and for everyone on YouTube, do check out do like and subscribe to us. So we're a Steam Release podcast on YouTube.
Yep. And with that, this VOD will be up on YouTube soon, but farewell! Goodbye!
Take care, everybody. Take care, everyone on YouTube. Bye!
Bye!